What up, YouTube? It's me, Isaac, coming to you with another edition of my life. So for lunch today, my dad made a bacon, egg, and cheese burger. The reason I say it's a bacon, egg, and cheese burger is because it's on a burger bun. Let's see what this tastes like, even though I think I already know. Oh my god. That is one of the best burgers I've ever had, even though it ain't technically a burger. Holy crap. What? Whenever my dad makes breakfast on Saturdays and Sundays, he makes some of the best stuff I've ever eaten. Oh man, I forgot. He makes them runny for me because that's how I like them. I gotta pick up my plate here. The way my dad makes bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, or burgers in this case, is freaking amazing. Oh my, he added pepper to the bacon this time. That's pretty cool. My God. So good. Not only do I have a bacon, egg, and cheese burger to scarf down, hot damn, that's tasty. But I have a bottle of one of my Redneck Mountain Dews. Let's see what this tastes like, even though I already know. Cheers. Oh my God. Oh man. That tastes freaking amazing. It tastes like Major Melon for some odd reason. Even though it's berry Gatorade, it tastes like Major Melon, which is weird. Holy crap. That was a freaking good meal and a freaking good drink that I've let sit here for a couple of hours. I made this last night just to drink it today. And the reason I mix different drinks with different sodas is we used to do this thing at camp where we'd mix different drinks and different sodas that we'd buy from the vending machine back when they had um Bolt, which was like a lemon lime soda. I used to buy a crap ton of those out of out of the vending machine, because the vending machine was like, when I was a kid, it was like 25 cents per can. And I used to buy 4 of them for $1, which was nice. And so I'd be able to make 4 different camp drinks for $1, and I'd have way more than $1, so I'd be able to make at least 1 or 2 camp drinks per day because of how much money I had back in the day, and rather how cheap the vending machines at camp were. It, like I said, they were $1 per 4 drinks, which was nice. And maybe $1 for 2, something like that. But that's why I mixed my drinks together, because I had a whole I had a lot of fun with my buddies just drinking camp drinks back when we were kids and teens. It was a lot of fun. Although we didn't do it much when we were until we were like 11 or 12, cuz we didn't we did it a couple of times when we were 8 through 10, or at least I was 8 through 10, but we didn't do it that often until we were like until I was like 11 or 12, because we we just bought our sodas back then, and we didn't mix them all together like we did in our later years at camp, because we weren't as weird in our as kids as we were teenagers and preteens. But ever since I was like 11 or 12, I've been mixing 2 drinks together and making a redneck version of drinks, which is why I got my Major Melon, redneck Major Melon here. Another bottle of it, because I know I've done a redneck bootleg Major Melon drink before, but every time I get a chance, I will make a redneck drink. I'm kind of a weirdo sometimes, but everybody who knows me knows I'm a weirdo, which doesn't bother me when I call myself a weirdo, because, well, I am kind of a weirdo. And on top of that, yesterday was the last day of Amazon Prime Day, and I asked my mom to get me like a couple of deck boxes since I play the Digimon card game, and I wanted a specific number of deck boxes. That way I could slip every one of my Digimon decks into deck boxes instead of just leaving them in the boxes they came in, which hopefully when I go back to the card shop, hopefully tomorrow, I can buy a couple of packs and soup up my deck, which I do have a couple of decks. I've done a couple of my Digimon trading card videos already, which is awesome that I can continue to do Digimon trading card game videos. And I have not bought any packs yet. I've only bought starter decks because I can't find any packs at all of Digimon cards yet. Although I haven't actually looked in the at the card shop to see if they actually have just packs, which if they do, they'll probably be relatively cheap, and I'll probably be able to soup up a couple of my decks because packs are just random cards, and hopefully I get some really good pulls. Because I know one of the cards that I have in one of my decks is it has an alternate artwork that is let's say you can't exactly use it, if you know what I mean. I mean, not the version I have, but the alternate version. And the only reason I know that is because when I bought the deck, when I walked into the card shop with that specific deck, the the guy who sold me my first deck, said that there was an alternate artwork of that specific card that was banned for, let's just say there was a pose in the card that really shouldn't have been there, which I've never seen the card, but I kind of want to because that would be awesome to see the alternate artwork of one of my best cards in my first deck, which is really odd that I could that they just straight up told me that that the that there was an alternate artwork to a card in a starter deck, which is weird as heck because you would think that it'd be hard to pull a banned card from anything besides, let's say, a Japanese pack, which I'll probably look for sometime in the future. I'll probably look for Japanese cards sometimes in the future, but they'll probably be expensive as heck to get sent here to the US, and I know I wouldn't be able to use them in my deck because you can't use different language cards in your decks, or at least I don't think you can. You might be able to, but I don't really know the ins and out of the Digimon card game yet because I just started a little while ago. Like maybe 2 or 3 months ago is when I started buying the decks. Actually, yeah, it has actually been 2 or 3 months that I started going to that card shop, which is always a good time. And I've only played against the one guy who sold me my deck, or my first deck, because he showed me how to play. When I'm in the back room of the card shop, I'm usually working on my own strategies because there haven't been that many people there yet. When I'm back there playing, it's usually just me and like 2 or 3 other people, but they've already started playing their matches. And then the guy that sold me my cards, which is awesome. Going to that card shop is always a good time because it gives me a little time to make new friends and play a play a couple of games, even if it is against myself. But yeah, it is a blast playing the Digimon card game, and I know that Pokemon has a couple of centered cards, if you know what I mean, from the original to the America the American versions are censored because, well, let's just say there are a couple of, again, odd images on the Pokemon cards, and one of them that I know that was changed is Misty's Tears. And the reason I know that one was changed is it was a little bit more revealing than the American version, if you know what I mean. I've only seen the Japanese version of Misty's Tears once, but that one time was enough to tell why why the card was censored, because yeah, if you know, you know. And that was just real. It's if you get that card, if you get the Japanese version of Misty's Tears, you should immediately put it into a protective card sleeve and keep that thing in a lockbox, because it is, in my opinion, if it's a grade 10 if it's a PSA 10, it could be worth a lot of money, especially if it's the original Japanese Misty's Tears, because those are hard as heck to find. Or any Japanese card is hard to find unless you actually buy the packs from a Japanese site, which is a lot harder. Granted, I'm not sure how hard it is to find those on Amazon or whatnot, because I haven't actually searched for the Japanese cards in a while, and I only did that one search. I only searched for them once, and I didn't have the gall to ask my mom. I didn't have the guts to ask my mom to actually purchase me the Misty's Tears card in Japanese, because yeah, let's just say I know she probably wouldn't, and I want that card because of how rare it is, and to have a Japanese card unless you pulled it from a pack. And I know that Misty's Tears is a very rare pull from I don't know what set of Pokemon cards it was, but I know it's a very rare pull either way. And if you want it, you've got to spend a lot of money on it. It's up. The last time I saw it, it was upwards of close to $75 for one copy. But card prices change all the time, so it could have gone up, but it also could have decreased by now, because that was a couple of years ago that I was searching for those cards. It was way before I got into collecting and playing Digimon cards again. I remember back in the day when I was in school, I had a lot more time to play cards with my buddies who I haven't seen in years, except for maybe once or twice. I've seen one of my buddies while he was at work, but that was only, like I said, once or twice that I've seen them, who when I used to play Digimon, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh! It all depended on what day of the week and what we wanted to play. But I remember my first Digimon deck back in elementary school when I first started was the The modern deck of my first deck is the Heroes of Hope, which is a Angelmon deck and Angelwoman deck. It's basically like it's basically like TK's and Kari's Digimon. And yeah, when I opened that when I opened that specific deck after getting it, it was really weird because only one of the cards had, well, three of the cards, because it had three different cards of the same card, three different copies of the same card, was had the I want to say condensation on it, and I wasn't sure if it was due to how the cards were packed and sealed, or if it was tampered with at the card shop. Not gonna say that it was tampered at the card shop or not, because I have no idea. But it is really weird that it was specifically a female card that had the that was, well, you can guess what I'm trying not to say, but it was really weird that, like I said, it was only a female card that was that way. And I don't know, I doubt anybody at the card shop did anything. I think it might have been a way that it was manufactured, but the fact that it was just the three copies of one specific female card is very weird, because you would think if three cards would have been would have had the I don't know if it was like I doubt it was glue, but it was like condensation or whatever. I don't know the correct term for how they package cards, but for it to be the three female cards that were, let's say, sticky, it was a little weird. And I was putting them into my card sleeves, and in my head I was thinking, why the, you know what, is it only these three cards that are the way they are? And it was weird as heck. It was weird as, well, all get out. I'm really centering myself here because I just am, and I won't say what I really want to say about how weird it was that it was just those three cards that were that way. It was really freaking weird, if you can tell by the inflection in my voice, that it was quite an experience that it was only those three specific cards that were that way. And I don't know why it was just those three specific cards that were that way. It is funny that I've spent this much time talking about just that specific deck, which actually, if I were to reach over to my bedside table, I might be able to actually grab that specific deck, because that deck is sitting on my bedside table right now. and I'd be able to pull out the 3 cards that had the condensation or whatever it was on those 3 cards. It was really freaking weird that it was just those 3 specific cards. If you can't tell, if you can't tell by how many times I've said it was weird that those 3 specific cards were sticky, it was really freaking weird. And on top of that, here's the really weird part. I've bought 3 other decks. Wait. Heroes of Courage, Heroes of Hope, and I bought 2 other decks that were Heroes of Courage, and then the Metal Greymon deck. None of those cards at all were sticky. So that is the weirdest part. That it was only the 3 female cards whenever I bought any of my decks that were sticky. So that's why I'm wondering what the actual crap. Because that deck I bought from the card shop. And I know that I bought my Heroes of Hope deck from Amazon, which none of those cards were sticky. Just the cards that I had bought from the card shop were a little off. And that was really, really weird, in my opinion, that a deck that I bought from the card shop was the way that it was. Actually, I've probably bought 4 decks. Let's see here. Heroes of Hope was the deck that I bought from Amazon. And then I bought like the Metal Greymon deck from War Greymon deck from, which is the Heroes of Courage, from the card shop. And then I can't remember the name of the other deck I bought off the top of my head, but I know that it was the deck that had the 3 sticky cards, which, like I said, it was the 3 female cards, which were completely off. And I'm surprised that if it were the one from Amazon, I could kind of understand, but it was one of the decks that I bought from the card shop. I will not say which card shop it was because I don't want to give it away, but that was a little weird that 3 cards were. And I've bought a couple of decks and only 3 cards were the way that they were. You would think 3 more from each of the decks that I bought were that way, but it was only the one deck that was that way. That's what's throwing me off, because you would think at least 3 of the other decks, 3 of the other cards in each of the decks would be that way. That's what's throwing me off, because it was only that one deck that I know I bought from the card shop. The deck I bought from Amazon didn't have any cards that were like that. And the other deck that I bought from the card shop which the first deck I bought from the card shop was my Metal Garurumon deck. Actually, I have bought 4 decks because I bought the Metal Garurumon deck, which is the friendship deck. I bought Heroes of Hope from Amazon. I bought Heroes of Courage, which was the deck that had the cards that were not in the best condition, if you know what I mean. Although they were in mint condition because I bought them, they were just a little off. And then I bought a 4th deck that didn't have any cards in that condition, so that was really freaking weird. But yeah, I'm your host, Isaac Brummett. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I know I sure as hell will. Peace out, y'all.